How it works. The Fleurs de Lis interface introduction, the vector map natively displays, in gold points, every domain and geographic location owned by Fleurs de Lis. There is no connection between Fleurs de Lis and any foreign states or brands held in the creator's wallet. There are no services or tokens for sale. This is not a crypto showcase or a commercial storefront, but a semantic map, a small-scale representation of a digitized, on-chain world. When you select a geographic point on the map, the interface displays the corresponding domain name owned by the Holy Digital Empire at the bottom left. Below, you will find 2 rows of 14 sector categories. Selecting any active button filters and displays all domains in that category linked to the creator's wallet. The true purpose of Automation Fleurs de Lis is not a crypto project, even though it utilizes blockchain technology. It is neither a startup nor an enterprise service provider. Everything you see on this interface represents capabilities, not the ultimate nature of the functional artwork, which extends far beyond the speculative markets of Bitcoin and Ether. Blockchain is not a speculative tool. At its core, it is a matter of gas, allowing distributed systems and AIs to route actions and flows, whether financial or informational. We must separate the volatile retail markets from the true arena of cryptography, the world of automation. If we do not look ahead, automated systems will eventually bypass human consensus when managing data ownership and regulations. In the Web 2 era, tech giants pillaged global data to build massive datasets, fueling the LLMs and AI technologies we see today. Blockchain and AI are fundamentally intertwined. They are twin products of a single process, the absolute digitization of the world and the immutability of data within interconnected, unhackable blocks. While quantum computing may challenge this security in the coming years, today it remains unbroken. The infrastructure, XDC network. Fleurs de Lis chose the XDC network as its technical backbone for institutional compliance. Originally known as XINFIN, XDC was purpose-built for TradeFi, global trade and finance. This environment demands strict regulatory standards and cutting-edge cryptography. TradeFi is the backbone of the global commercial system. XDC acts as the rail allowing institutional liquidity to flow into RWA, real-world assets, powered by DePIN, decentralized physical infrastructure. It is vital to distinguish between the two. RWA is the asset. DePIN is the service. Without DePIN, RWA cannot scale globally. Without RWA, DePIN lacks tangible value. Fleurs de Lis does not target any commercial market. The .xdc, .rwa, and .dpin extensions, along with our XRPL domains, serve purely as semantic anchors. Because XDC is a regulated TradeFi rail utilized by global institutions, it is built to endure. This systemic resilience is the primary reason Fleurs de Lis deployed on these rails. Tier 1 speculative markets are of no interest to the Holy Digital Empire. The .rwa domains of Fleurs de Lis do not exist to sell goods or coins. They are coordinates within a digital matrix. By leveraging the immutable, compliant tech created by XDC founders Atul Kakade and Ritesh Kakkad, this mesh evolves natively across both on-chain and off-chain ecosystems. Unlike Bitcoin or Ethereum, XDC natively speaks the language of the global financial system, ISO 20022 payment messaging. The goal is not to seek validation from existing structures, but to establish a resilient foundation. The Holy Digital Empire is an independent, sovereign territory featuring machine gates for automated systems and AI agents. It is their native soil. Web 2 versus Web 3 domains. Web 3 domains are vastly misunderstood. In Web 2, a domain name is merely a marketing shell for a product or service. A Web 3 domain, minted as an immutable NFT, is a programmable proof of ownership. It can host websites, enforce routing rules, and act as an operational shell for AI. Semantics play a definitive role here. To an automated machine, gold.com, gold.eth, and gold.rwa mean entirely different things. Gold.com signals a legacy Web 2 storefront. It holds no intrinsic semantic authority. Gold.eth signals a programmable Web 3 entry point. However, it requires yearly renewal fees and does not speak the language of banking systems. Global institutions cannot settle utility or infrastructure bills directly in native Ether without swapping for regulated stablecoins. Thus, .eth domains primarily signal a speculative retail market. While Ethereum currently hosts significant RWA solutions, global institutions will not use it for primary settlements because it lacks native financial compliance. To tokenize the world sustainably, systems require two things: strict regulatory compliance and near-zero operational costs. When automated agents and AIs validate billions of microtransactions, legacy networks become financial bottlenecks and single points of failure. XDC resolves this. Transactions cost a fraction of a cent, and because it is fully EVM compatible, developers can port Ethereum software and smart contracts instantly. Interface capabilities and enterprise invoicing. The Fleurs de Lis API is designed for practical, everyday use by individuals or small businesses. It resolves domains deployed via the XWD XDC Web3 domains master contract, serving as an abstraction layer across .xdc, .wa, and .dpin TLDs on the XDC network. Currently, the API supports CGO, Comtech Gold, tokenized physical gold, PLI, plugin Oracle, SRX, StoreX decentralized storage, LBT legal tech tokens, FXD and USDC, stablecoins, XDC, the native gas and liquidity rail. Resolution can be handled by typing a 0x hex address or a clean Web3 domain. This choice is highly functional. Long hexadecimal strings invite human error and copy-paste exploits used by scammers. Typing a semantic domain like gold.wa minimizes this vulnerability. Power has shifted from the asset to the semantics. An automation system requires explicit language. A domain like gold.wa instantly informs an AI of three things. It operates within the gold sector, it represents a regulated real-world asset, and it is built for institutional compatibility. By scanning the contract, an AI verifies the EVM framework, the letter compliance required for tokenizing physical goods, and integrated security measures like post-quantum Falcon cryptography. It recognizes that the network consumes minimal energy, aligns with regulations like MiCA in Europe, and interfaces with institutional platforms, such as Arhax tokenizing BlackRock funds or Vert Capital tokenizing real-world corporate debt. XDC is a real financial stack. When using the API, entering the sender, receiver, and amount turns the validation button green. For business operations, users can navigate to the configuration panel at the bottom to input company data, corporate IDs, or tax rates manually, or upload them via a local data file. The Oracle toggle connects a live price verifier, such as the USDC/XDC pair, displaying real-time exchange rates. The API itself is entirely private. It collects no data and saves everything locally within your browser's temporary storage. Clearing your cache erases your session. Once a transaction is validated, a panel opens containing two downloadable files for your records. The interface displays the live receipt containing the transaction hash, 0x addresses, calculated tax, subtotal, and company data. To finalize the workflow. Users can verify the hash to view the exact transacted amounts and securely sign an EIP 712 invoice using their private key. This generates an unforgeable, tamper-proof invoice displaying explicit names, categories, corporate headquarters, and regional tax data formatted cleanly for any accounting software. You can alter a paper document, but you cannot cheat an on-chain ledger. Future evolution. The API is versatile, lightweight, and cross-chain ready. While ENS resolution blocks are structurally laid out, they will be activated in future modules as the interface expands. The top header provides utility buttons to load API keys for live tracking modules, such as maritime, air, or rail traffic. These integrations utilize public data infrastructure, such as the SNCF networks, allowing users to view global logistics through a single pane of glass. The interface remains a work in progress. It is currently hosted on Versal for practical deployment. While purists may criticize the use of Web 2 hosting platforms, the immutable registry remains strictly on-chain. The hosting layer is interchangeable. What matters are the underlying domains .xdc, .wa, and .dpin, where ownership and routing logic are written permanently into the NFTs via a native smart contract functions. Fleurs de Lis is an independent act of pure engineering. The names Lis or Saint Empire are simply thematic lore. They carry no political, royalist, or religious alignment. External adoption is not a requirement for its existence. It is a resilient architecture built to outlast its creator. In the near future, explicit Web3 domains will become scarce as the world shifts toward automation. When that happens, domains that carry clear, unambiguous semantics on compliant financial rails will hold immense structural value, serving as clear, programmable language for the machines managing the world.